Welcome back to the Cuddy and Galvey Show. We're here in beautiful downtown Boca. The weather's been nice and cool lately. 60 in the morning, working its way up to 70 in the afternoon. It's a lot better than up north where it's 9 degrees, 2 degrees, negative degrees, depending on the wind chill factor. We're Cuddy and Galvey, www.cuddyandgalvey.com, our website. We're on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok and Apple. We have reels going all the time, every day. We put 3, 4, 5 reels up, and many of them are going viral. We're getting thousands and thousands of views every day. So let's start out with the Galvey's picks. Last week was a tough playoff week. Galvey was 2-2. Now we got some good games coming up. We have 49ers in Detroit. We have KC in Baltimore. What do you think, Galvey? That Buffalo game sucked. The guy missed that field goal at the end.
Well, I got to tell you,
you invest the whole day watching that game.
Yeah, it's something. But I was at the Super Bowl in Tampa. That's when Whitney Houston sung the national anthem. When it was the New York Giants versus Buffalo, and Scott Norwood missed the field goal to win the game for the Buffalo Bills, and it was wide right. And that was their first Super Bowl, and they went on to lose 3 Super Bowls after that. I mean, which is amazing that they went to 4 in a row. So here it is. Buffalo finally thought, they have a shot, get to overtime because they lost in overtime last year to Kansas City. And the guy misses a 44-yard field goal.
At the end of the game.
Yeah, and the crowd was ripe. Jason Kelsey was in the crowd. It was something. So it's that's a tough. These games are tough. It's deep. It's little calls that make a huge difference. I mean, to win both, it's tough. And then you have all those prop bets, with over-unders and stuff. But just to stick to who's winning, I kind of like, I like San Francisco over Detroit. I think Detroit is, they're new to this. I think that sometimes, it's just not so easy to come across in your first playoff and knock off a team as powerful as San Francisco in San Francisco. So I think that you're going to see some interceptions and some turnovers by Goff, and I like San Francisco. I also like Baltimore over Kansas City. I think Kansas City.
You really think Kansas City's going to lose to Baltimore?
It's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore has an unbelievable defense.
What's the weather look like this weekend? Do you know?
I think it's supposed to be cold.
Cold,
but no snow. And I think Kansas City, they didn't really stop Buffalo.
Kansas City wasn't great.
I mean, they went up and down
Buffalo.
the field. They didn't really stop this guy from anything.
So
I kind of like Baltimore. I think it's going to be a Baltimore-San Francisco, which, by the way, is a rematch of the 2 hardballs playing against each other back when Baltimore beat them.
Right. Well, it'll be an exciting weekend. It's coming down to the Super Bowl. That'll be in, I guess, 3 weeks, right? This weekend.
Yeah. So sports. Sports was a good week for sports. They also had Joel Embiid getting 70 points.
Yeah, I saw that. Wow.
That was. I haven't seen a game where that a guy was that unstoppable, that he has every single shot in, from 3-point range, from by the foul line, the hammer, the underneath. He was unstoppable.
And we also have in sports, well, if you want to call it sports, The Rock, the biggest movie star on the planet, worth $1 billion, I think, something like that, started in the World Wrestling Federation many, many years ago before he became a movie star. Well, he's going back for WrestleMania. It's going to be the highest pay-per-view event ever, bigger than Super Bowls, bigger than fights, bigger than everything. It's going to be insane.
Is he partners with Vince McMahon?
I think
in that football league, like they merged the 2 leagues, and Vince McMahon and him are together.
Yeah,
in that XFL or
I think so,
or
but
USFL.
This is going to be unbelievable. The Rock is going to fight in the main event against the champion in WrestleMania, so it'll be great. And then, of course, we have, as you said, the Kelseys. We have Taylor Swift, big news. When she's at a game, Kansas City usually wins, right?
Well, she's going like 75%. What's interesting is that was the first time Jason Kelsey got to meet Taylor Swift. was, because he was always playing, and it's interesting. It's a whole different lifestyle. Jason Kelsey set up his lifestyle in Philadelphia. He met a Philadelphian girl, married her, has 3 daughters. Supposedly she's pregnant again with another
Hey.
child. But he made his life in Philadelphia. He bought a bunch of real estate, and he has a place down the shore. And his brother, who, if he gets engaged like they're talking about maybe this summer, he'll never have that type of a normal life. I don't think he can just send his kids to school without like security around them.
Well, Taylor Swift is probably one of the biggest performers on the planet. How long does her reign last? You wonder. Is she there a couple of years? Does she get pregnant? Does she take, like Cameron Diaz took like 10 years off?
No,
Julie's
but that's an actress. I mean,
Julia Roberts. Well, she's an actress too.
I mean,
but
why
she
can't you see a singer like Celine Dion until she got sick? But why can't Madonna? Madonna's like 5 generations now, 5 centuries.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
Paul-
5 decades.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She absolutely can do that.
she's
I mean,
33 years
I mean,
old.
they're only dating 3 or 4 months. Are they really going to get married? Are they talking marriage already?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Summer.
The summer they have a date?
Well, no, that's what they're talking about.
Well, anyway, Gavi and I had so much fun this weekend. We went out with Ben. Ben treated us to a lunch, and we went up to Palm Beach, and we did a man on the street. We had a good time. We have a couple videos to show everybody on our podcast of Man on the Street. We didn't get a chance to interview that many people. We have about an hour of it. We have 3 short clips we're going to show here so that everybody can see what we're about.
There were some celebrities there that we won't mention, but that were up and down that street.
Yeah, we did talk to a celebrity. They chatted with us. It was a beautiful lady, and we will not mention her name. She asked us not to. And, we had a nice chat with her. There were a lot of beautiful people besides you, Gavi, up there in Palm Beach. I mean, everybody's in shape. Everybody's on Ozempic. Everybody's thin. And everybody's all dressed up, dolled up.
Donald Trump's on Ozempic, it must be.
Donald Trump,
20
right?
pounds he said he lost.
He lost 20 pounds. Did he actually admit he's on Ozempic?
No, he didn't say it, but I mean, he did it pretty quickly. And he does comment on you every time he sees you.
Everything.
And you're not bashful. You said that you were on Ozempic, and he says, Cuddy, you're looking good.
He did see me at the beginning of the season, and he came over to me. He said that I lost a lot of weight, and how did I do it? And I was forthright and honest with him. I said I work out hard every day, and I only eat 1 piece of lettuce a day, and he laughed. But anyway, yeah, he had a big win last night. How about it? New Hampshire beat up on poor Nikki Haley. I don't know where she's going to get all the money to keep going.
I just gotta ask you one thing. I know
Shoot.
like, sometimes we shoot ideas off each other, but this is like off the cuff right now. Again, during his victory speech, CNN and MSNBC refuse to give his victory speech, and they actually do they do a fact checking during his thing that if he says anything that is like a little off. Yet Joe Biden can sit there and tell about a conductor that he was on with little Joey, and the same false story every time is no problem. But they hold Donald Trump that if he says one little thing that's minor, it's like he's not telling the truth. How do you feel about a guy that's going to be the guy that's running against Joe Biden, that they're not letting America see who is the other opponent? I mean, it's crazy.
I'll take the other side of it. Gavi, get over it. That's the way it's going to be. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. I mean, the press is crooked. It's not fair, but it's been not fair for a while. So, I mean, this is the way it's going to be. We can't complain about it. I don't know whether Donald Trump has to take his shirt off during his speech so that they continue to, do the video of it. I don't know what he has to do, but this is the way it's going to be. I mean, I don't know.
But Joe Biden, since he was running for president, before, I think in the 80s, so I think New Hampshire, this was his 3rd New Hampshire primary.
Right, and he did win last night.
But he lost the other 2, and the only difference between this time and the other 2 was he didn't show up this time. So I mean, this guy actually does better. His whole campaign is to hide in the basement. I don't see him coming out at all. I don't see him taking questions. Like you see, Donald Trump just takes a question off the cuff from a reporter and he answers
Right.
it. I don't. I think Joe Biden. This is him. He's going to hide for
Well,
most of it.
his strategy is to beat the Republicans up on the abortion issue, because that won the
And democracy and Donald Trump.
right that won the midterms and democracy and Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I guess, is going to try and beat him up on the border.
And hide, not to come out.
Right. And right, yeah, but I mean, that's a decent strategy. If he can win it by not coming out, why shouldn't he do it?
I don't know. It's sort of like the rope a dope when Muhammad Ali went to George Foreman and he let him punch himself out, and then he came back. It's sort of like the guy's not. It's hiding.
But I think if he comes out, it's a detriment to his campaign. So maybe he's better off in the basement. I mean, better maybe this is a good strategy for him. I mean, did you see his speech yesterday? He barely got the words out.
He couldn't say, how about one of them didn't even make sense? Like he said something about he mumbles.
This is where I fall down. You and I have a different opinion on Joe Biden. I think back in the day, maybe Joe Biden had some good talents and had some good ideas, but he's too old right now. I mean, you cannot be the leader of the free world going against Kim Jong-un and Chairman Xi and Putin.
But I don't think it's age. I think because everybody ages differently.
Or his cognitive ability.
Because if you ask me, Donald Trump, right now, this guy, besides campaigning and flying all over, this guy's, his lawyers are prepping him. Like he has one lawyer, like this is the New York prep. This is this is the Georgia prep. This is, he has, I mean, this guy has, he has to prepare for all these different things.
I just think that, come on, Joe, be fair. I mean, this is a big job. It's a grueling job. It's an 80-hour-a-week work week. I mean, you cannot do it at your age. I couldn't do it at my age. I mean, put somebody in there from the Democratic Party that's going to carry your mantle and be able to have the energy and the strength to do this job.
What happens if Kamala Harris says, I want it? I want to be the person that runs.
Well, he's going to have to deal with that. I mean, he picked her. What happens if Michelle Obama wants it? Now she's hinting that she wants it. I mean, that's their issue. I don't know how they resolve that, but they're going to have to figure it out. It's just the bottom line is Joe Biden, maybe whatever his policies or his thinking is, he's just too old. An 84-year-old man can't be president of the United States. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
So anyway, Gavi and I, we were walking on the streets in Palm Beach, and we had some fun. And we're going to play a couple of our clips on the street here. We did meet some movie stars up there, and we did have fabulous free lunch, and we got free parking because we are podcast superstars. And it was a blast. And we're going to do more Man on the Street now that Ben showed us how to work our mobile equipment. And Ben came with us, so we were walking down the street with a camera. Everybody wanted to know who we were. They didn't recognize us, even though we have 260,000 listeners. I guess we have a face for radio, Gavi. Let's see it, Ben. Let's go for it. Here we are in Palm Beach, Ben. A gentleman just pulled up in his Bentley right over here. He got out of the car with his walker. And in Palm Beach, you can't walk, you can't see.
He's parking in a no parking
You
zone
can't
here.
hear, but yet you can drive.
Right.
It's
Wait,
remarkable.
take a look at this, Ben. If you could come over here and go behind you in the red lines, here he is in the middle of the street. In the middle of the street, not all the way in. And if you put your hazard lights on, you can park anywhere.
This was unbelievable, Gavi. We see a guy, he gets out of a car with a walker. He can't hear anybody because they're shouting at him because his car's not even in the spot. And he barely can see, but yet he can drive. In Palm Beach, I guess that's allowed.
But he was blocking a handicap ramp. So if you're in a wheelchair and you want to cross the street, that's where it goes. So
Right.
It's like he's handicapped, blocking it for other handicapped people,
Right.
which is it's kind of crazy.
That was kind of fun watching that.
But yeah, that was.
Let's see a second reel, Ben. What's the second one on? Ralph Lauren? Okay, we went to the iconic
Now
Ralph
look at this
Lauren
gorgeous
store.
furniture. This is Ralph Lauren,
What a pretty
as in
backyard.
RL. But it's just such a nice, look at this beautiful courtyard. It's such a nice, comfortable
Yeah,
look.
Ben, why don't you take a walk up here? I mean, look at this.
We're in the middle of a city, and it feels like you're in the suburbs.
I mean, look at this space that they have here, how gorgeous this space is.
I mean, Gavi, if I brought a date here with your credit card, imagine how good I would do.
You know, unbelievable. Matter of fact, you
All I
can
need is your credit card, and I'd be
get
set.
I think you could get married right here.
This would be a good spot.
A perfect spot to get married.
I agree. I just need to find a fourth wife.
Now, we
I'm
did
done.
tell them that in the Ralph Lauren store we were podcast superstars. They didn't give us any free merchandise.
No, they didn't.
They just let us go back in the courtyard. They let us walk around, and the store is gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
unbelievable.
I mean, the rents that they get there. It's
Can you imagine what the rent is?
yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Probably higher than our podcast studio here. I mean, we're paying a fortune for this. All right, we have a third one. We had fun. We went down to the Rolls-Royce Bentley dealership,
Yeah.
you know, and like dreaming someday.
This is
that-
something to see under
Yeah.
one roof to see this. This is
And the general manager, Devon, walked us around.
it's the number one Rolls-Royce Bentley dealership in the United States.
In the United States. I don't know. They sell 100 cars a month or some crazy.
More than Beverly Hills. It's
Right. And maybe someday, if you know we're up to it, we'll be able to get one of these cars.
Welcome back
Gavi
to
on
the
it?
Cuddy and Gavi show.
Yeah.
We are at one of the most spectacular dealerships in all of the world. We're in Palm Beach, Florida. We're in a Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Corvettes. You have
Look
everything
at the amount
here.
of cars in here.
We're going to
Must
walk
be
down the
50
row. And
cars
we're going
there.
to show you all these
How many
fantastic
floors do they
cars.
have?
These
Oh my God! This is just the first
the
floor.
Bentayga.
There's
These are
Devon.
the
He's the
Bentley
handsome, tall guy,
GTCs. They're so popular.
general manager.
And then over here, as we cross over,
About
because
a
it's
foot
so
taller than you
difficult
and
to
I,
get
or a
these
foot
cars,
taller than me.
you get some of these are choice, pre-owned, beautiful cars. You have
This
the
doesn't
trucks.
work out. I'm thinking
There's
of getting a
look at
sales
this
job
gorgeous
there.
black Corvette.
It would be
Oh my
fun, wouldn't it?
I would love it.
Is it available?
Pristine condition, one owner.
All right, one owner.
gorgeous black
Yeah,
Corvette.
that
Oh my
podcast superstar. That
The young man's
Well,
car.
actually, that
Had a
looks
tough
pretty
time getting in and out of the car. I bet you
No,
that guy
that
did.
looks pretty good. That
Middle
looks
age crisis. Wow, so that was fun. We have a whole bunch of clips coming up, a bunch of reels coming up. So that was just 3 of them. Thank you, Ben. We had a great time doing it. Thank you, Gavi, for being funny and having a great time on our little road trip. Anyway, we're rolling back to this Netflix thing now. You know, the stock market today, Netflix is up. When I left, it was up, I don't know, 50 points or some crazy amount. And all these cable companies people are cutting the cord and they're going to the streaming services like Netflix, and it's remarkable what's happening. And I just think that, at least for me, I have so many little charges on my credit card. I mean, I just can't do another charge. You get $5 for this, $3 for that. I mean, what's your take on this whole Netflix?
I think there's a certain age. I don't know what the age is. I don't know if it's below 50, that they have maybe a little bit more understanding of the situation, because to me, I have Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Hulu, Max, Peacock. I have them all.
You have them all.
And it's because there's one show that I want to see. Like Sylvester Stallone had
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Right.
I had to then go and if you want to see it, I had to like
Join
get the-
Paramount Plus.
Exactly. Or for instance, people that wanted to watch this football game, this last football game with Kansas City in the playoff game, they had to go to Peacock to get a free trial. But if they wanted to watch the game, they had to sign up on the Peacock streaming service, which is like kind of crazy, because how many do you think cancel right away? And then, it's the $5 a month. But I think that's where, Comcast, which owns NBC, which is Peacock, I think they're having a tough time losing a lot of clients with their cable network, so they're trying to get people. But I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know what date they signed up for, because each is a different month, which one to cancel. I would like someone to tell me, hey, maybe if on my Max, I can watch the same thing on Peacock. I'm like a little confused, so I just have them all.
So when you signed up for or this past football game that came on, do you just buy that one game? Is it like you buy one game, or you
No.
got to buy like the
No, you
NFL package?
No, you sign up like you're buying like Peacock every month. They give you a $5.99 charge.
So wouldn't it be easier, like on my Comcast right now, if I want to buy a movie, it costs $2.99. You just buy that movie. Wouldn't it be better for football if I could just, I want to watch the Kansas City game this weekend, just buy that one game for $2.99 to watch that game
It would,
instead of buying the whole pack. It's like when I go there and look at, I have to sign up for the whole package. I'm not doing that.
Well, for instance, I'll tell you something that's interesting. I get like the football package. I get a basketball package. This year, I didn't get the hockey package because when you're living in Florida and you want to watch, say, your Philadelphia Flyers down here, I don't know how many games, they have every game. But if you go to ESPN Plus, which is another streaming service that I
Right.
have, they have almost every Flyers game. So if you didn't know it, you could buy the NHL package and you could have just got it with ESPN. So it's the type of thing where
Do you ever go through your charges and see how much money you're spending a month on all these incidental, services that you're joining?
when I see it come up and I say, okay, that was $6. Let me just look into that. By the time I come back to it, I forgot about it, and another month came
Right.
by. I have yet to really sit down because I don't want to. It's sort of like
Right.
It's like going to get your driver's license. It's like something you don't feel like sitting down and figuring it out. It's like keeping your furniture in a storage facility. People pay $100 each month because you don't want to deal with the headache of taking out your stuff.
Right, and there's all these, you get all these spam emails about all these truth finders and all these agencies that have all this
Yeah,
dirt on you, and
I-
you want to join them. What do they have on me? You have all these traffic violations. I'm like, well, how do I have a
Yeah,
traffic
they sell all
violation?
your. That's
Yeah.
why you always have to say when it says cookies, you just gotta say no. You decline everything. Never accept cookies.
But so I went on this thing because I'm getting all these emails that I have all these traffic violations, and every intersection in Boca and Delray and Palm Beach have cameras. So I'm like, maybe I did run some red lights. Maybe I do. Maybe my license is suspended. I don't even know. I mean, so I went on this thing, and it starts to talk about, it's a complete scam. But it says, these are 7 people that you know. And the 7 people that you know, they all have court offenses. So, you almost want to join because now it's gossip. Like, oh my God, the Gavi over here, whatever. So, you're looking at that. And, so I went to join. It was $14.99 a month. Because I wanted to see what my driving problems were and whatever. And when I went on to pay, they make you pay for a full year in advance. It's not $14.99 a month. I was going to go for the $14.95, but when I heard it was like $155, I said I'm out. I didn't go for it.
No, it's a lot of these things, and I sometimes think. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, I think that they have things up there that they know are scams, and I don't know why they keep it up there. Did you ever see, like, on a social media, it'll mention a friend's name and say he passed away or there was a car accident, and you push it on, like, to see something, and then it's like, that the next thing you know, you're hacked, and then you have to send out that thing. Please don't accept any of my invitations. I've been hacked. That's just stuff like that.
Do you get that thing where you have a package at UPS or FedEx?
That's
and,
another scam. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have a package.
your
and
address.
Yeah, they need your address. I need your address and your social security number because,
I feel bad for seniors. That's just so, I feel bad for them because I can see how that happens. And especially, by the way, with AI coming out right now, they can make it like, if you think it's like, it's easy to fool you now. Wait until they have the artificial
Right.
intelligence.
But when
come in.
when you get that email that you have a package undeliverable because the address is wrong, don't you want to, go through your phone and choke that motherfucker that's sending it to you? Because he's trying to scam you, trying to empty
I
your
do.
credit card, bank account. Don't you want to choke this guy?
It is frustrating. You want to know why someone isn't policing that, because you would think everybody has that. It's sort of like, when you get those things from Camp Lejeune with the water thing. It's like everybody in America,
Do you ever go through your spam folder to see what your spam's trying to catch?
Yeah, a lot. It's amazing how much they do catch.
Yeah, but do you go through and see who's tried to send you things and is caught by your spam? Because I've been trying to send you emails and you haven't. Must be in your spam.
No,
folder.
there is. I bet you I do. I do have a spam thing, on one of my things. I have one email. I'm sure everybody else has out there. I have one email that I give everybody for my junk that I don't even check. So if you ever go anywhere, like let's say you wanted to buy a mattress, and they say, can I have your information? Once you give them your information, they're selling it to everybody else. So I just give them it goes into my junk email.
I just caught on to that because I'm getting so much email from places that I'm like, how do they have my email
No,
address?
my other one's clean. So I keep a clean
Yeah,
email.
you're
It's
smart.
important. And the other one is for my
yeah.
junk.
Do you have a
crap.
phony phone number you give them too?
No, but I try not to give that. But going back to the thing with the Netflix, one thing that is interesting is like they get you on these shows. Like for instance, I like Billions. All of a sudden, you got to go to Max, or if there's a show on Apple, you have to go to an Apple to see a show. So each one, it's almost like you got to like, what happens if there's 5 different shows that you like? You have to actually sacrifice and give up on.
Yeah, I mean, what you have to do, I just did it. You have to go through your credit card. I had like this Ancestry.com that I was paying $14.95. I probably joined it 2 years ago. I wasted whatever, $200, $300. Then I had this MyLife.com, another one that I joined. And then there was this other one. So I had about 10 different things that I'm paying every month that I had no idea were even on there. But I went through, and they make it super hard for you to drop out. I mean, you have to go through 2, 3, 4 different screens to get off of this thing. I had Match.com. I tried to get off of that. I mean, it was hard to get off of that. And I joined that 3 years ago. And
They don't make it
used that.
easy to get
No,
out.
they don't make
They
it-
make it really kind of difficult.
Once you're in, you can't get out.
Right.
What's the Godfather movie? They pulled me back
Yeah,
in.
it is.
I was out. They pulled me back in.
I think there should be a business out there that you say, this is what I want to watch. Figure it out for me. Here's my show.
Yeah.
Figure out my bill. Tell me what I need to do, and put me on one bill and comes out. And if I want to cancel something, let me.
Or go to all these venues and group them all together and say, look, I have a guy who only likes to watch this one show.
But I do think it is going to come to what you just said. You should be able to buy each show that you want. So if you want one show, just charge me $14 for the year, and I'll watch, say, Billions, or I'll watch, Ted Lasso. I'll pay for that particular thing without getting. I don't care about the rest of it.
Right. Let's say I don't have the NFL package. I know you do. But let's say one weekend there's a good Buffalo Bills game on or a Miami Dolphins game. I mean, it would be fun to be able to just buy the game for $2.99.
Especially when I have it because I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles. But to tell you the truth, the Philadelphia Eagles down here on national TV, out of the 17 games, 10, 11. So my package is only working for me for 6 games that I
Right.
really need it for. So if you really
Will you buy it next year?
Yeah, because
You will.
those 6 games.
Right.
I'm still at the point where
Right.
I'll pay more than what it should be.
Even the way the Eagles ended the season, you still pay for the package, to watch the Eagles. Yeah.
I'm invested with that team for my life.
So anyway, we
Talk about the this case in California with the
Go ahead,
I
Gabby.
mean, it's interesting. It's a really interesting case. There was a girl that
very attractive woman.
she and she stabbed her boyfriend
Of 3 weeks or
of 3 weeks. So,
Right.
but she comes from a nice family and everything, and he comes from a nice family. He was an accountant, and she stabbed him 100 times. 100 times.
Do
And
you have a picture of her? Do you know her name? Maybe you could pull the picture
no,
up. Stabbing in California.
so stabbed her 100 times, and she smoked 2 bong hits that he gave her, 2 bong hits, and she wasn't a real user of it, so she wasn't like an everyday user, and all of a sudden she made like that she was went a little crazy, so the jury found her guilty of manslaughter. So they did find her guilty. So when she
For
came
stabbing a guy 100 times.
100 times.
She didn't even get like death.
No.
or
She
life-
was guilty. She was guilty. Now comes the sentencing.
Okay.
So the jury did their job. They said you're guilty. Now it's up to the judge to come up with the sentence. As far as the jury,
This is California. Very liberal.
and this just happened. So as far as the jury's concerned, they're putting her away for 10 years.
And marijuana is legal in California.
Marijuana is legal, recreational, everything.
Recreation. Okay.
The judge gave her 100 hours of community service and 2 years probation.
One for each stabbing. 100
A little less
stabbing.
than each stabbing. It was 108 stabbings, and this was 100 hours. So 8 hours short of that. But what's interesting is the parents of the victim said, this is crazy because that means anybody who smokes weed in California can now use this as their defense. Or what happens if you're drinking? I mean, it's the same thing. You were so intoxicated that someone gave you that you should be. I mean, the real law that's in place is whatever you do, you're responsible. She should be responsible for taking. No one forced her to take a bong hit.
So has this lawyer become the greatest lawyer in America for coming up with this kind of, defense?
I don't know. Maybe he becomes like the lemon law doctor. You
Yeah,
know? You
it's like a lemon law.
It's like a specialty.
Like if marijuana is legal and he got her off for 100 hours of community service based upon the fact that she did 2 bong hits.
No jail time.
0 jail time. That defense, anybody can use that defense now. It's precedent.
Everybody.
Yeah.
100 times a day. I
Wow.
mean, it's like, so I don't understand how, but yet she's going to get off. So I want to know who she is. I want to know who her family
Is
is.
this her, Ben? What's her name? Okay, so
Yeah, this is, yeah,
that's
it's
the
her.
bong.
That's the
I
bong.
was running
remember
it
that
while
from
you
my
guys.
Yeah,
University
and
Miami.
this is
It's
the
a
victim.
poor schmuck that got stabbed
Yeah, this is the guy that
108
got
times.
Yeah, next time you
That's
say,
her.
next time you say to your
That's her.
girlfriend, next time you say to your girlfriend or your wife, here, take a bong hit. She's allowed to kill you.
Now-
I mean, like that's crazy.
It's crazy, and she had the strength, and he couldn't fight her off. That she
Maybe one was a surprise attack. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I don't understand. Like, I want to know who she is. That a judge is willing to let that happen, because I don't think she could be tried again.
She's Joe Biden's niece.
By the way, can she be tried again? It is. It's related. And the lawyer was the sugar.
That was funny.
Was the sugar dad? Was the sugar bro?
Yeah, the sugar
got
bro.
her off.
Yeah, sugar bro.
I mean, that's kind of bizarre, isn't it?
It's bizarre. Everything's bizarre. I mean, we go through all these things every week, and we touched on it earlier today that you have Michelle Obama. They are talking about her, Joe Biden, because he doesn't want to be a lame duck, milking it till May. And then at the convention, they're going to do a switcheroo. And they're going to slide Michelle in for Joe Biden. How do you think she will fare against
I don't think
Donald
that's going to
Trump?
work. I think that there's.
Why won't it work?
I feel like I'm I'm trying to get inside information. I don't think it's going to work, only because Jill Biden was not a fan of Kamala Harris. She didn't like the way that she called Joe a racist during the election the last
Right.
time when they were having their debates.
So this is prior to him becoming the Democratic nominee.
President, when he
right.
was up there with all
Right.
the other 15 candidates, and she
Got it.
called him a racist, and she went off, didn't like it. The reason why he chose her as a running mate is Barack Obama suggested to go with her. It was a DEI hire, basically.
Okay.
So Joe Biden wanted Whitmer. He wanted the governor of Michigan to be his running mate. But he listened to Barack Obama and had Kamala Harris. He's regretting that today because he's stuck with somebody that that he has to run because
Joe Biden's regretting that he picked.
that he listened to Barack
Okay.
Obama. Now Barack Obama's telling him step aside, maybe Michelle, and Jill Biden is saying no way. He's not stepping aside for anybody anymore. I'm not listening to Barack Obama. It's not his show anymore. He said he gave us Kamala Harris. He's not going to give us Michelle. So that's out.
So, I mean, you're almost trading, you're trading a female and an African American for a female and an African American. So,
But Michelle Obama's not going to be vice president. The difference is Michelle Obama, if she's doing this,
Oh, I
she's
see.
coming in as president.
oh, she's not going to.
Right, so Joe Biden has to like step aside, and Joe Biden is not stepping aside for Michelle Obama and Barack to then take their shoes.
Right. So all these rumors that you hear about happening at the convention, you don't believe it's all happening. It's going to be Joe Biden all the way.
Or it will be someone like Newsom or someone at the end, maybe like a Whitmer, where they have to get rid of Kamala Harris. And if Joe Biden steps down, Kamala Harris steps down. It's both of them go down. No, Kamala Harris is not going to ride this alone to be the president.
Right.
There's no way.
Right. And you don't really hear much about the impeachment talk anymore. I mean, where is there, articles of impeachment for Joe Biden? I mean, it doesn't seem like they're talking about it anymore.
Listen, his big cause is this thing with the border is his big thing. And people are tired. They heard for so long that the border's secure. How can Joe Biden make a comment saying the border hasn't been secure for 10 years? I would just keep playing that soundbite because I'm telling you, I heard with my own ears Kamala Harris saying the border's secure. I heard Mayorkas say the border's secure. And now Joe Biden saying, oh, we got to fix it. It's been broken for 10 years.
But the thing I don't understand is I'm reading that each one of these people coming across the border pays $6,000 to $10,000 to the cartel.
Right.
To get so. Why are they
Chinese
paying?
more. Chinese much more.
But why are they paying? I mean, if the
They'll
walls
get
are
killed. They'll get killed
by the border
by
patrol.
the cartel.
Oh,
They're paying the cartel.
they're paying the car. Is the cartel paying off the border patrol?
No. It's open, so they are just bringing in so many people. But they're
That's
making
a lot
billions,
of money. Yeah,
more than drugs. They're
Yeah.
making billions on the people.
Wow.
And so that's interesting. The other thing that read about is when you mentioned stamps.
68 cents. The stamps are. I remember when I was a kid, a stamp was like 4 cents. Now I'm dating
Postcard
myself.
was a nickel.
Yeah, I remember the stamps were 4 cents, but so you have a problem. I buy books of stamps, at a time. So now I have stamps that aren't enough money.
Well, first of all, how many letters do you mail?
A lot.
Okay, I don't mail. I have everything is direct deposit, everything like that. I pay very few bills that I need a stamp. So when I go out, I buy a book.
Yeah, I mail 20 a week.
Okay, I don't even do that. I used 20 a year.
Right.
So I buy my book, and now all of a sudden, I find out that I'm 4 cents short on my letter.
Well,
now.
you got to buy the forever stamps. No, if you buy if you buy forever stamps, they're forever good.
I
It
never
sa-
even knew that existed.
No, right on the stamp it says forever.
I never knew that existed. I didn't
Yeah.
know that that's an option.
Yeah, you buy the
That's
forever.
smart. So every time you could have bought that 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think they only invented it a few years
Oh,
ago.
because I got to tell you something. Every letter I'll do now, I will put 2 of the 64 cents on there because I don't feel like going
Yeah.
to a store for buying a 5-cent stamp to add on, the extra cent.
Yeah.
So to me, every single letter I send out now is going to be, $1.28.
But what's crazy about the whole thing is the post office loses billions of dollars a year, just billions of dollars, and it's a governmental agency that's a disaster. I mean, if you think about how archaic it is that a postman is going to every post office, everybody's house in America. Think about it every day. Think about that. It's insane that, somebody drives to everybody has a mailbox to every mailbox
Yeah, but how do you
every day.
But how would you get someone to say a ballot? How does the government send you a census, a ballot?
I'm not a problem solver, you are, but I just think if you try and wrap your head around a human being going to everybody's mailbox every day in the country. It's just a
They
money.
should just privatize it. I don't know why they don't do that.
Or make you go to a central area that you get your mail.
Or privatize it. Let someone else figure it out, all the logistics of it. Just like UPS, FedEx, they can do it on a much smaller scale down there.
I mean, it's not for today, but I think the post office is a governmental agency that needs to go away. It's just another one that should be on the chopping block. When I go to my mailbox, 3/4 of that mailbox is direct mail that I never even look at. Advertisements for real estate or, whatever Reader's Digest that I won $1 million, but I have to fill all this stuff out, which obviously I didn't win the money. It's all bullshit. So, I mean, I think the post office has to go away. I mean, look at all the vehicles. all
Junk
the
mail. How much? I'll tell you what. When I get my mail, every 4 days I'll check my mailbox. Almost all of it's junk mail.
It's all junk mail.
I mean, how unfair is it that when I live in a building that the mail person, can't even say mailman anymore, mail person, she has to deliver all this crap, and then in front of her they put this big trash can in the lobby, and everybody just dumps all the trash into this thing. So she has to lug the bag in here, and she's putting in these things to Winn-Dixie.
Do you even look at the direct mail, or you just chuck it immediately?
Chuck it immediately.
Do you give the mail woman or man a Christmas gift?
Yes, because she sends me a card every day that says, "My name's Betty. Merry Christmas." It's a pleasure, sir.
And what does Betty get? 50, 100,
No,
10,
no,
20?
No. I give her between $20 and $30. Depending what I have on me when I, as soon as I pull out that card and I get Merry Christmas,
So you're invited to a wedding. What's your, it's not a relative. It's like a friend. What's your typical gift for a wedding, to go to a wedding?
It depends. It depends if it's a destination wedding. I mean, I just got invited to
because it costs you a lot of money to go.
I just got invited to a wedding that is going to be a magnificent wedding in Spain.
Wow.
No, not Spain. I'm sorry, Lisbon, Portugal, and it's going to be some. It's
$5,000 or $10,000 to get there. Hotel
I don't know.
rooms?
It's you have to have all these outfits. Tails, like the black tie is tails.
Wow.
Tails. It's on a ship. Then it's a cruise, and it's 3 nights. It's the whole thing. Then you're getting special shoes, because they say that the streets of Lisbon are very slippery. So they're telling you. I mean, it's a bizarre type of thing. So what do you give for something like that if you just accept to go to that?
Well, this is how I usually work. I give $500 if I have to go, $1,000 if I don't have to go. I give more money if I don't have to go. I'm antisocial.
On destinations.
No, I mean, something like that. I mean, you really can't even give a gift because you're spending so much money to get there and get home and all your outfits. Do you even own tails?
No.
So you got to go buy that.
Yeah, I that's like.
And then you have to buy your wife 3 or 4 outfits.
No, wait.
Pocketbook, shoes. I mean, this is monumental, Gavi.
I mean,
you better start getting some sponsors
you
here.
live in that high society world of yours.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how many of your friends own tails? Do you own tails?
I've never owned a pair of tails. I don't even know the words. Is it called a pair of tails? I don't own tails. I've never owned tails. Maybe Halloween I wore some tails once.
So you haven't gone to the Academy Ball or the Met Gala?
Never went to Rittenhouse Square.
I mean, that's tails.
Yeah, I never once went to anything that required tails. I mean, I have 3 tuxedos, and the reason is they're 3 different sizes.
Well, I don't even want to wear
46, 44, 42.
I mean, I don't even want to wear a tie and jacket to go out to places, and now it's it's taking it to the next level.
Think about it. I mean, I'd love it. You'll have to tell me after the show whose wedding this is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, why Portugal? Are they Portuguese or
no?
Is it like a great destination wedding spot?
Supposedly, Lisbon is less than going to some of these other places, but it's there'll be the who's who in the sports world will end up being.
It's a sports star. Got it.
So it's something like that, and it's
got it.
And it's
got it.
Yeah, so it's It's
I
interesting.
mean, good
So
for you. When is that, Gabby? We better book a no-show for that week.
it's going to be September.
September. Well, should Cuddy do the show by himself?
No, we can. How about we do it from Lisbon?
From Lisbon.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. All right, Gabby. Well, what else you got?
I'll tell you what. How about do you feel today the president of Alaska Airlines was on, and now he decides he's going to have to go after Boeing himself. So they found all these bolts and nuts that were loose on his planes with Boeing. And then United Airlines jumped on the bandwagon, and they say that they have like door problems and issues. And then Delta had the front tire that blew. I mean, Boeing right now, I don't know if these are DEI hires, but the question you have is, if you went to a clothing store and the tailor was a DEI hire, you might not mind because you're going to try on your suit.
Not life or death.
They're going to get it right. They're going to fix it. They're going to get it right.
If it's not right, they'll fix
And
it.
it gives a person an opportunity to get into that field.
Yeah.
And it gives them a chance to grow, and that's okay. But when it comes to a pilot, your door, like, should you get on a plane and say, was that wing? Do you know there was just an airplane that they had to ground as it was pulling back to taxi? A passenger looked out on the wing and saw that there were missing bolts. And they brought it to the attention of the pilot, and he noticed it, and he pulled back in, and everybody had to get off that plane. Should it really come down to a passenger looking out his airplane window and determining if the plane's safe or not?
Well, the thing I don't understand, I retired from home building maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, but in the last year that I built houses, we had 16 to 20 inspections for every house. I mean, you had a foundation inspection, you had a framing inspection, you had all these inspections. Who is is the federal government inspecting these aircraft manufacturers? Are they inspecting these planes? How is it possible where you can have zero tolerance failure? You can have no failure in an airplane.
Well,
how can they not have multiple inspections that you're finding these items on
one of the
planes
problems with the DEI hiring is,
one of the inspectors is a DEI?
well, I think the top guy, isn't it Buttigieg?
Yeah, he is a DEI.
Is he a DEI hire?
He's a DEI hire.
So the top guy is a DEI hire who's in charge of transportation, and this is happening on his watch.
Yeah, this is...
How come that's not being brought up?
How would you like a cardiac surgeon that was a DEI hire? I mean, he didn't pass, he wasn't the top of his class. He was at the bottom. But the hospital needed some diversity, so...
You know what? But where do you draw the line on a DEI hire?
I think, well,
Harvard University president, do you draw the line?
Harvard University
the president, gay.
Yeah, that's all right. I can be a DEI hire. Podcast Superstar.
That didn't work out for them. How can that work?
Podcast Superstar could be a DEI hire. In our case, they picked the short, fat Jewish guy. I'm one of the DEI hires over here.
No, you don't. Obviously, Jews aren't part of that.
We
don't have a section. We don't have any one called.
Well, they're inventing it for us now, though. I mean,
I know, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
They put us in a category.
Yeah.
15 million people in the world.
Yeah, they have a new category for us.
And they're worried about our little sliver of land.
Yeah, that's it. They're a new category. But, I think if it's a life and death hire airplane pilot, cardiac surgeon, certain things that can't, like somebody, a tailor at a clothing store, I can return that suit, they can redo it if it's not right. But I think life or death hires, then it can't be a DEI, hire.
I agree, but that comes with cars. It comes who's building your car. It's the same person. If United Airlines pass someone that they hire,
point. Excellent point.
So all this, Union Joe, they have standards. It should be that you get to fire that person.
How about a school teacher? You want a DEI hire teaching your child?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I think there's.
But everybody else is like, it's like funny.
Social worker, DEI hire?
Today,
shrink.
Yeah, today, I tell you when people don't think things out fully. There's the mayor of Naperville, Illinois. and it's a very affluent suburb of Chicago, and he wants people to sign up in this community, in their 5-6 bedroom homes, to take in illegal immigrants, and he wants them to like give them a room, and whoever wants to sign up. And he thinks that would be very warm to do. But a lot of people have to turn around where it's not thought out. This is the mayor asking the people of Naperville to take in, the illegal immigrants. Do you see the things with the squatters? Like when someone brings in a person and gives them a room and board because they want to help them out, and after 2 months the person says, "I'm not leaving," and then you have to get the guy out, and then the courts tell you that they have rights. It could take you 2 years to get out. Could you imagine if you had a bunch of illegal immigrants that said, "No, I'm not leaving now"?
Yeah, and that's going to happen.
The mayor never thought of that. What happens when the person says, "Hey, I want the guy to leave now," and all of a sudden the mayor goes, "Well, you can't." He didn't say that. He said sign up and be like, do something nice, but he doesn't tell you what the downside could be if you take them in, that they could be stuck there for 2 years.
Right. And it's going to happen that way. I mean, it's just like the sanctuary cities. None of these mayors envisioned.
They didn't think, right. They didn't think
They didn't envision any of this. Or when George Bush invaded Iraq, he wasn't planning on, taking over the country and then having to run a country. I mean, everybody thinks, in advance of great ideas.
But they don't think it out. Even the illegal immigrants that are coming here now with all these kids, no one really thought out, where do these kids go to school?
Yeah.
Where do they go to school?
You're right. When Joe Biden or whoever...
You got a 13-year-old that hasn't been to school yet. Well, where does he go to school? Do you just plug him into a...
Right. So they're letting all these people in. Did they think it out what's going to happen? Where are they going to live? What are they going to do for a job? How are they going to learn English? Where are the kids going to go to school?
Right. They didn't. But... going up before we leave, I just have to give you a feel-good story.
I want a feel-good story, Gabi.
I think sports stars can take a page out of Jason Kelce.
All right.
Jason Kelce, his brother Travis, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, is with Taylor Swift, unless you're under a rock, you didn't know that. And, he had like over 40 beers. He was tailgating with the Buffalo Bill fans. And they loved him there. I mean, so when Travis Kelce scored a touchdown, he took his shirt off, and in his luxury box, he jumps out into the crowd. And he was with all the fans there. And, they were thinking that it was great that he went in there. And he saw a little girl that had a sign up that said, "This is my first Buffalo Bills game, and Taylor Swift's here." And he saw that, and he went into the stands, picked her up, brought her up to the skybox that she could show the sign to Taylor Swift. And the little girl started to cry happy tears. And the mother said that she never saw her daughter have these happy tears before. She was interviewed on the Today Show. She was interviewed on Fox, everywhere. The power of an athlete that can do something, you would think they would do more of that. Like, for instance, if I was in an elevator with a stranger, and I went up 40 stores with them, they wouldn't tell their friends they were in an elevator with Gavi.
Right.
They wouldn't say anything.
No.
But if you were in an elevator with Michael Jordan, would you tell your friends that you...
Sure.
So they have this power that, like, they could go to a children's hospital. They can make someone's day just by being nice.
I actually saw that. I saw there was a clip, Tiger Woods, he was on a green, and his caddy, Joe LaCava, said, "Over there's a little girl, bald, cancer, that had a sign, 'My dream before I die is to meet Tiger Woods.'" And
Really?
after, we'll have to find that clip. And after Tiger Woods made the putt, he took his glove off. And I guess Joe LaCava's caddy carries a Sharpie around. Right. And he signed the glove, and he went over and gave it to the little girl. I mean,
right.
You wanted to cry.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. People won't want to hear this, maybe not everybody, but Donald Trump is unbelievable at doing
Unbelievable at that.
I mean, you get to see that firsthand.
I see it all the time. He, if he sees somebody that lost one of their kids in the military.
Even a wedding.
A wedding. Oh, I saw, he went, there was a wedding, at Mar-a-Lago, and he lives on the property, and he went down to the wedding and walked in and said hello to everybody. Just shows up, and for the people, I'm assuming they like him because they're having the wedding there, and
But every single person who attended goes back and
Oh,
says
yeah.
Donald Trump,
and he was president of the United States at the time.
right, and said hello to me. They have their
Yeah.
wedding album. Is
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's just an unbelievable power to have. I think that more athletes should use it.
The hospitals.
Not when they get into trouble.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you could get into trouble and someone they have a domestic abuse. The first thing I would say is go to Children's Hospital and start doing
Right.
something like because
Right.
otherwise you're in trouble.
Oh, I mean, CHOP in Philadelphia, I used to be involved with them, #1 children's hospital in America back in the time. And, there were kids there that had signs on their door, here 410 days. And,
Right.
when they would get a Philadelphia Phillies or Eagles that would go through that hospital, it made the kids' days. They had this place, Ronald McDonald House. It was unbelievable.
So when you get to see the power
Yeah.
of Jason Kelsey just at
Yeah.
a football game, by the way, he got 10 million clicks. He
deserves it.
He got more clicks and hits for this game than any player this weekend
Wow.
that played. So it goes to show
Good
you.
for him.
Yeah.
Good
I
for
just
him.
think everybody should start doing stuff like that.
Well, Gavi, this has been a fun show. It's probably our longest show.
By the way,
I didn't
if
think
we ever
had
get
enough
really
time.
famous, I will spend half my day doing
And
it.
I'll do it with you.
Okay.
Be my pleasure. We'll go over to the local children's hospital. Anything we can do for kids, it would be great.
All right. Sounds good.
So we had to clean up our vocabulary and our content so the kids watch us. But we can do that, right?
You let one out today, but I'm not. Who's counting?
No, it was. I just cursed once. All right, I'm trying to keep it under control. All right, folks. Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Apple. www.cuddyandgavi.com. One word. Go on our website, look at our stuff, look at our reels, and we're having a lot of fun here. Anyway, another beautiful week in Boca Del Rey, Palm Beach area, and we're looking forward to next week. Next week, we may have a special guest.
Yeah.
A political consultant will come on. Even though we're trying not to talk politics, she's about to come on.
Do you want to say anything to the frat boys?
Frat boys, we miss you.
We do.
I'm sorry about the Philadelphia Eagles, and, we hope next year we do a better job.
Pitchers and catchers report pretty soon.
Yeah, there you go. All right, folks, have a great week.
See ya.
'Cause I'm on